Hello and welcome to our 61st episode of our Adventures in Excordia campaign. I'm your GM Connor, and playing with us tonight is Karen, played by Pyro, Andario, played by Fred Flintstone, Silver, played by Tristan, Katir, played by Liv, I said Katira, played by Liv. There we go. Morgana, played by Shane, and Zankiri, played by Fergus. This doesn't help my realization, like last session and then lab one before, that had like a running bit for each of these intros. And then I'm gonna God, it's gonna take so much work. I was gonna say like it is just a thing, isn't it? Fucking he's playing 8D chess. how how are you not good at okay. Last on this very special episode, episode 61, the same age our dear and Daryl is. Happy happy birth. Uh in actual game news, last you all left off, you had made your way to Solus, starting getting information on how to take down the representative, Radiance Everblight. Found out that has an estate in Limbo with a Gitsurai Anarch, keeping it stabilized, and you all started to plan out and look for leads on how you could besiege there and get her killed without becoming international most wanted criminals. Yeah. I want to roll. He's saying, "Do you all look the same?" Yeah. Bofflin sits up at the fort. Mm. It's such a subtle like diss. It's like, yeah, our weakest are about on par with your strongest surviving heroes. Like I know that's why where you're getting it from, but it's such an unintended burn against normal people. It's just like, oh yeah, like our shit shovelers are about as strong as your decorated war heroes. Fuck you. was gonna say, Karen, I imagine, Karen, you're probably feeling some sort of like unfairness of being born. His whole race gets born as innate spellcasters, and you get to live to 40. Just a chalkboard writing all the ways you've been fucked over by being an orc. Just, man, this. The time I got reincarnated, the time I got reincarnated as a gift. You better hope it's a Zerai or it's Yankee. That's what I meant. I misspoke. I was reading. My bad. You better hope it's the same one as Zonkiri, otherwise, which is, although they're biologically the same from what he's saying. It's just a like reincarnated into a body that politically aligns. Mm-hmm. Pop off, King. You will see his jaw slack, head just immediately. Hey, you want to see something? And as soon as he says, "I'll take that as a yes," you just Gmod drop. What kind? There was no noise. He just died. I know what. I think I know what's happening. Yes, Pyro. Uh, So, while you are in there, Zunkiri, give me a general con save. Or go with wisdom, actually, since it's just your mental. Uh, so you felt the stinging of touching his curse in his body. Like, much like when you step on consecrated grounds, you felt just the ick of being in a body washed with divine energy. And you just kind of made your spine shiver. Uh oh. I think she's got it. Good luck, Liv. Oh, one shoots up. Oh, misfire. Whoops. I mean, at this point, yeah. Although, I love the because she's empty. She's clear. Everything in her has been cleared out. That's what she's getting at. No, no! You're losing the metaphor. Move past it. Move past it. You know when people hit reverse, like a time reverse after somebody's thrown up? That's all I'm seeing when he's like, "Ah, he's getting put back." Mm-hmm. But yes. Um, Hank, before you do Morgana, I want to point something out about being in Katira's body. As you're kind of like, so is the soul still there, and you're just kind of surrounding it, or is it like outside the body? Following the follow with me for a second, as if each of you were a house and then a person living there, and the person is your soul, the house is your body. In Katira's, you have this very modern, minimalistic, like almost brutalistic loft studio apartment, very empty, but you can feel there's like, mm-hmm, you can feel there's like a some part of her body, much like when you use a speak with dead on a corpse, there's some echo of something before, and you could feel through the proverbial windows that there's a something, someone else's history still remembered here. What the sultry? And then Flash of Genius, yeah. So you all see uh Morgana. Um, hmm. You know, there's an interesting quality to your body, Morgana. I like to imagine little light up green LED strips that go along her body suddenly just start glowing like a black light. Just I'm assuming you all were like hide in your inn like before you re-upped your seeming or something. Like uh or you know, following the same like apartment tenant kind of allegory that I used for Katira's, Morgana's felt surprisingly small to you. Like a New York studio apartment. But yeah, it yes. It surprised you how little the space for her soul was. But oh, I was thinking of like a .zip file. I didn't realize there was a zip drive. Oh, okay. Is that different than a floppy disk? Okay. You could almost the other weird part of her body, because that birth crystal was still attached to her body. You could almost feel like you could hear the neighbors in this New York apartment. Like you could hear other tenants nearby. Uh, if you wanted to give me a perception check, I might be able to give you some detail of what specifically you hear. If you wanted to press your ear up to the wall, as it were. Sounds and you hear animal noises. I can't quite identify which. But that's what I've done for the two. Karen's would have probably been much like a temple with some heavy incense, like yeah, like choking level incense. Uh, um, Silver's would have probably been the equivalence of going to like a country cottage, despite all of his technology and stuff. Just a nice, gentle, well, uh, well nourished land around a tiny little cottage home. Not too dissimilar to the uh, buildings you saw in his hometown. Is that everybody? You. Yeah, and you didn't get to go to Andario's, so. Get the fuck off, doormat. Oh. You felt strange. You felt colder in a way you've never felt cold. Like there was some internal part of you that suddenly was no longer facing the sun. Without that touch of your totems and that the nature crystal, you were there, and you were also the emptiness of the jar kind of made your soul feel even smaller than it was, and you just felt kind of dwarfed by everything around you, and a little bit. you just felt you just felt kind of pulled into yourself, almost fetal position in the jar. But then once you return to your body, you're now suddenly aware of the warmth this crystal's given you. that you've always had, because you've never, without it, you wouldn't be online. But now you can consciously feel its warmth and the hum of it. I hate that. Yeah, if they're not protected, I can just slip inside. Ugh. I mean, not in that way. Listen, you got to do what you got to do to get that wizard's apprenticeship. Mm-hmm. Oh. Uh-huh. Y'all are animals, and I wouldn't want it any other way. So, as you all finish your out of body experiences, you all re up seeming, or I was under the impression you were starting to save charges so you could plane shift. Mm. Rod of security. Mm. Okay. Uh, so while you all are just kind of, you did buy out this bar for this guy. Did you want to just put up, instead of paying a gold every day while you're waiting on charges, did you want to just put up like a under renovation sign and chill out in the building under the guise of like renovating it, so you don't have to be out on the town, rather than slowly make you all count up how many days you're here and take away a gold from you? You have a place you bought, so you all are in the unnamed Skelly Boy bar. I know it was originally the like Leaky Crow was the name of the original thing, and you're like, no, he's getting rebranded. Yes. Oh, encroaching your territory, huh? Hmm. It wasn't in high spirits or something, was it? Anyway, we'll figure it out at some point. I'll upload the video. Uh, the plan that you all are formulating. Uh, I know he's still probably AFK because I haven't seen. Yep, he says he got a AFK for a while. Remind me to tell him how I plan on working this, but that little docket that Silver dropped all that money for on the information on her, Kind of similar to how I did the Hell Race. I kind of plan on having it be like, oh, retroactively, like if you wanted to find something out rather than having to go and look at it, it'll have like X number of charges, and you can like quote expend a charge to say, oh, this information's in here that they've gathered for me to get around hard to find stuff. Like, uh, that's generally how I plan on using it. I think it gives a bit of a creative agency to him as you all are looking for stuff to be able to go. Actually, what is the answer? And for 500 platinum, I think you've paid for it. Um, you all also could go visit Melphite. Um, but while you all are in the uh, bar area, Zonkiri, a magical chest appears before you. Speedy courier. You see a regular looking chest with redwood planks for the board of it, with this silver metal filigree and a large V over the clasp. There's a letter from Voflin. There's also a small satchel that I will get to the contents of in a moment. It's regarding the notes you gave him. He has theories on how to make these work. But very specifically, there's one. Most of his designs require a component that's hard to make. And his words, though, fortunately, somebody already made this highly volatile material before, and we can just steal it. Unfortunately, the place where it was made is pretty dangerous. There you then see pages and pages of essentially the detailed version of why he needs it and what it is. Essentially, he's saying making the box isn't that difficult. Getting the mechanisms, but a getting it a sustained moment of time to use as your engine is difficult because it'll limit how much you can do depending on how strong of a moment you take, and it's hard to know how significant moments of history will be. But he knows from hearing what was contemporary to him at the time about a great battle with a heap of time archaeomancers. And after doing some research at the library, he believes he knows where the site was where they had their final confrontation. And it is said to be covered in all sorts of rifts and schisms that you might be able to bleed some power from to get the juice you need to make your item. In the satchel, there's a small set of shears that have archaeomantic runes on them. You can't read them, but if you want to bring them to Andari, I'll tell you what they say. Or you can make an Arcana check to try and figure it out on your own. That's fair. You gather like one of the words for time on it, but the phrase seems incomplete. God damn it. Oh no. So the writing translates to you, Andariel. The blades that shear the moment. Essentially, they can, yeah, they're time shears. They can take a look. Loose threads of time. Am I stuck in a time loop? Is every time you all touch this, are you all just gonna have a relapse mode, or you make the same pun? Essentially, no, no, we don't need a timeshare sheer pun. No, if it's supposed to, they were supposed to be an allegory. They were supposed to be an allegory to like the Greek fates, like that was what they were supposed to be. I didn't even think of timeshare. It's too late. It's too late. But essentially, like loose strings in a fabric, you can clip loose pieces of time with them. And this battle, he says, are filled with these loose strands that you could clip and use to create your box. Hmm. Oh, uh, so the apple on the counter, he stabs it. Let's roll to see who else is nearby. Uh, I'll omit Silver since he's not here. Uh, Andario, as you're sitting at the bar, just reading, you look over at the apple he stabbed, and you see it like the shears start to slide down the middle, and it splits in two, and then two apples are there, and the shears are just resting on the table, almost like a hot knife through a soft material. You see two whole apples sitting there. Do you how long do you continue to look at these apples and read? Roll me a d2. Mm-hmm. Hope it's not a 1. Hmm. You bite the real one. You bite into a regular apple. Tastes fine. You look over at the other one now that one's been touched and interacted with, and you see it slowly start shrinking into a seed. And the seed is expanding back into an apple. Stems elongating. It's reversing the process of where it would have fallen from a tree. What do you do as it's slowly de-aging? You toss it into the sand. Cool. Zankir, you come by to pick up your time shears, and you see Andariel's eating your apple. Katira. Katira. Katira and Karen, where do you all think you'd be spending your time chilling at the bar? There's a little residential area on the second level. The two of you, hanging out, notice something odd given the desert landscape. There are leaves on the windowsill. There is an apple tree outside of your bar here that is grown up to the second floor, and is producing reverse apples, as in apples. There's seeds that turn into apples that get sucked back into the tree. It's like an uncanny valley tree. Okay. Non-magical trees instantly wither. Magical ones have disadvantage, right? Go ahead and roll blight. Mm-hmm. Oh, does it do max damage on? 80 necrotic damage then. And you watch as the tree immediately desiccates. This withered, black, gnarled apple tree now sits out there. But it has about a half dozen beautiful, juicy red apples still hanging on the branch. And you think you can see like a pained face in the tree bark. But it stops reversing. That's not a... The chan Morgana's suddenly behind you. Some people have stopped in the road, and you also know you are hiding, so you would probably stay away from the windows once people start to gather. You kind of peek through, and you see like an older man take down an apple, sniff it, take a bite. And goes on his way. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is this the like using the wild magic roach to start it off? And you all see, as soon as the door closes, almost like a gas explosion, just poof, The smoke under the door rise out. What you looking for? Mm-hmm. And it's grown up to the second story. Oh no, it. I mean, they could have, but it grew up to you too, as well. Like, it had almost like it. Now it does have a kind of like weeping willow look from its wilting branches, where it's kind of like gone up and then sunk back down, and the apples look like they heavily weigh on the branches, so that they can still grab them from lower down, but it reaches up as high as the second level. Join the circle with Karen. Neat. So, uh, did you all want to do anything else to the apple tree as it's kind of just chilling there? How would you say that near Zonkiri? Um, Mainly, do you all want to grab some of the apples to bring inside before people would? Oh, cool. Uh, did you? There's the words I was trying to fish for. Give me an Arcana check. So these apples are essentially enchanted a little bit now. About 99% of them will just be regular apples. But that 1 in 100 apple will have some time effects on them. And that'll go for any of these trees you grow from its seeds. Mainly, I mean, the first one is it'll either de-age or forward age somebody who eats one of the 1 in 100 apples. But for the most part, they're just you don't notice any of the special apples on the tree currently. Just that there are seeds in the apples. So you could grow another tree. Make a hell of an apple wine. What did they say about time spent wasted? Oh, nice. Or if you did it, if you distill it right, you just get absolutely blasted, and then you wake up the next morning reverted to before you went drinking, so just no hangover. Now that's high fantasy. Cool. Do you want to just speedy courier them back to the fort, or okay? Okay. God help us when you ask me, hey Connor, I have 12 time apples in my inventory. Do you have any idea what those are? It'll be like facing down with some BBEG and he's looking for stuff to throw, and I'll be like, I have no earthly idea what a fucking time apple is. Okay. Making time apple pie? Okay. Yeah, uh, yeah, Karen, you come out with hella munchies and you smell an apple pie baking. No, you do, and your lichen senses heighten your sense of smell too. You're having a Winnie the Pooh moment. You look over to the you look over to the forge that's been repurposed into a large oven. See Zunkiri there baking. Ta-ba. So you slice off a piece for Karen and give him his time apple pie. Karen it. Roll me a charisma save. Uh, So and Daryl, you walk in and you see the two of them. You look over to Zonkir and you say, "Are those made with the fucky apples?" And you look back to Karen, and there's an infant sitting on the ground, staring up at you. But proceeds. Still with all of Karen's like curse things on him, you just see like an infant Karen who stands up and in perfect commons it says the next line. Tiny clenched fists. A minute later, you rapidly age back to your correct age. You feel all those. Yeah, you have to speed run puberty and like orc arthritis in the span of like 6 seconds. Yeah, your teenage metabolism got through all of it. Give some to Morgana. Your roach is thoroughly spent. Well, hey, you could always try and talk to your time people to try and I encourage you to try and recreate the circumstances where you got your original booth. It's all gone. There's nothing. You you said tiefling. I need to find drugs. Mm-hmm. Now, I need to ask: Are you writing gibberish symbols or actual thieves' cant symbols? Okay, go ahead and roll insight, Karen. How nice of her. You've buried the hatchet. Nice of her to give you this. Not yet. Hmm. You can try and sneak out at the edge of night. You'll just have to roll me a stealth check. Mm-hmm. Karen's just getting fucking WWE chair slammed every turn this session. Ooh. I'm taking my PTO. Pardon? Okay. See, I didn't hear point at. I heard put in. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Hmm. God, Karen waking up to. Where is Morgana? Oh. Oh. What are you doing on the roof? Oh. Uh. Oh! There's a cosmic event today. The planets have aligned. Mm-hmm. The first one. Yeah. Uh. Yeah. It's it's etc. Like a spell slot or action surge. Uh. Karen, you realize what this could give you a free one of. If you get it, it wouldn't go on cooldown. And since you didn't really have the opportunity to make an informed decision because I forgot to roll at the beginning of the day, I'll allow you to do it now. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to try for it. You're not sure if it's the wild magic booth, but you feel this resonance. Like everything's in a line. Everything's in series. Nothing's out of circuit right now. Roll your D100. Sad. You focus, and you're unable to evoke a miracle. But good effort. I do know what I will do if you ask for that again, though. Uh, so you all antics mainly. Karen ate a pie. He became an infant for a minute, rapidly aged again. Karen used the last of his wild magic boof. There's a cursed apple tree outside of the place now. Um, Outside of the bar, they made an apple grow in reverse until it became a tree. Then Karen blighted it, and now it grows magic time apples 1 in 100 times. I think that's about all the meat and substance. Everybody else has just been chilling around. We made it. There was a lot of giggling. That's about the plot synopsis. There's shears that Vofflin sent him for the quest that were supposed to be just an allegory to like the shears of fate in like Greek mythology. They just cleave loose threads of time, and then these fucking timeshare shear bastards. Every time it's mentioned or they touch it, they mention, "No, I was told I should invest in one of those. I shouldn't invest in one of those." Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you will. Cool. So you all are chilling in the uplifted spirits bar named TBD. Uh, you did you want? Oh, I'm going to say the thing I said about your docket, Silver. You there? Yeah. The docket of information I gave you for that like 500 platinum you gave. I kind of plan on doing it like this. That as you all are looking for information about the ambassador and ways to get her, uh, there will be ways to find it. And think of the item having a set number of charges. Let's say 4. You can quote expend a charge to just get the answer to some question you're wanting to have answered about her. In that it, yeah, as you're turning through the pages, you find the information in there. So like if you wanted to find out, uh, it said the Zonkiri posted some points in the general chat on Discord. Uh, if you all saw one that was like, hey, that's gonna be hard to find. Yep. So we're gonna say it has about 4 charges of just answers. Very very direct. I'll try to avoid being vague as much as possible. There we go. And the grammar was killing me on how to say as a little vague as possible. Okay. Okay. So, were you wanting to like surveil the city and like find out her schedule, or did you want to use one of your charges to find that out? Uh, it essentially be like doing surveillance, like sunglasses, fedora, trench coat, just sitting around watching her on for a week and gathering up information on like, okay, this seems like routine. She's here to here to here to there. Mm. There are offices to the chaotic courts that would have records of her schedule. She has a secretary, so Katir. That's a good point. Okay, so two-person mission. Did you want anybody else to come with? Just two of y'all? Mhm. The hair is starting to morph. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you get a 20-foot cushion on your fall damage. On top of your slow fall Katira, so you can do the full Assassin's Creed. You can do the full leap of faith without the hay pile and be fine. Cool. Um, so you all, as you two are suiting up for your mission, you the night before you make up the plan. The whole party talks about that. The two of you all going in, Karen making the distractions, on Kiri talking about giving you the spells and stuff, and then everybody else staying away so you don't draw too much attention and alert them of what your all schemes are. Uh, Information you know is that her being the head of her party, she has an elite, a special office in the Deadwell Embassy, where her secretary would also be and have her files, which is where you'll be breaking into. This is good because it's not the Ignari Nexus where most of the police force is, where most of the members of Congress and what Parliament are. The downside is that there are specialized guards here that you don't want to get caught by. Think of it like foreign ambassadors' personal protection. They're not city guards. These are guards from Limbo, Mechanus, Celestia, Hades, and every plane in between. Which means they don't really have jurisdiction to chase you into the city unless you have something unless they have proof that you've done some crime against people in there. So she's lawful after all, everyone. But you also know that probably means that you're likely dealing with more than like a CR1 town guard if you get caught. Uh, you Mhm. Of course, that's why I said it was like the night before, so that when you got the morning to switch to Infiltrator in your spell. So take your time. Um, Katia, was there anything you needed to do in preparation? Okay. Who? Is that the guy who played Chandler? Oh. Hmm. Oh, jeez. You know, I was gonna make a joke about the corpse not even being cold, but he was found in a hot tub, so that might have taken a minute. If you're going, you might as well be on the VIP list. Yeah. I knocked my mic off, but I'm good. I'm sorry. The lack of professionalism was really telling on me. Hopefully they'll still let me audition for Alphaba, though. Damn. There goes my dreams. Damn, I knew I shouldn't have been scabbing. Alright, do you have your stuff prepared, Silver? You're good. Good idea. Because you will be the only caster. Oh, something in me just felt hurt. I'm on the side that benefits from that, but hearing somebody say they not prepare the resurrection spell, even though I know like you could just take the body to care, and like something in me stung. Maybe it's because I've been bullied every time I play a character that has cure wounds. You're like, you didn't take cure wounds? I'm like, I'm a druid, I don't need it. And you're like, oh, so you didn't take cure wound. Anyway, vamping aside. I I got bullied on Geneva for not taking cure wounds, and I didn't. What did you say? He's just AFK again. Okay. Yeah. We'll continue to vamp with this then. Silverheaded okay for a minute as well. So yeah, I stand by the fact that I shouldn't have to take cure wounds just because it's available to me. Oh, he's back. The jump he did, the jump Pyro had was as if Zonkiri suddenly appeared behind him. It's like, you're good. When you started talking, he went, huh! Just. It was like for no reason, you just startled the fuck out of him somehow. That was a great burn. He said Karen is unchanged. Yeah. Bonkus pedal maker. I'm making you commit to the name. So you're going to unleash Mishka on. So, Karen, you are in your seeming. You would know that a good place to do it would either be in the Soul Market, though that's a little close to your all's hideout, or the park would be a great place for you to be like, uh-oh, I had a bear. Where go? And that would be close enough to like draw people's attention. Or you could go directly try and cause problems at this little like plaza. Everything else might be a little difficult. Or this plaza. Okay. Which one? Just look at one of the pools of water. Pick one. They're going into this one. Well, they're about to. Yeah, so there's like two. Cool. The big central one. All right. Karen deeply in method. The Liv, he's role playing the tragic backstory of Snagglepuss. So, Silver and this will be happening sort of at sundown when there's still enough people around to like draw people out and give you enough of a time at shift change-ish to sneak into the Deadwell Embassy without there being like full force night guards who have nothing to focus on but intruders. You're catching the tail end of people on at the end of their shift. So, Karen's plan is to cause a distraction at the Alamont Plaza to draw attention. I'm going to correct where Karen said he wants it to happen. Because I said that this was like individual bodyguards, normally the city guard would respond to it. I'm going to say you should probably addend the plan that your interplanar bear somewhere got loose and you need to help find which plane your baby has fallen through. Because that would attract the attention of the guards here specifically. Because there's nothing the city guard could do for him, and it's their terrain. Did you catch that, Pyro? He's muted. We'll fill him in. Oof. So, do you all want to take a short break then? Like 5 minutes? Because I kind of am waiting for like Karen's kickoff distraction to see how well they're distracted to give you all your opening. So I'm at a little bit of an impasse till he comes back. Yeah, kinda. Like 5 minutes. We'll circle back. And break. And we're back. We're picking up. Karen, while you were away, I said we need to addend your plan. Or amend your plan. Because I said that they were like private bodyguards here at the Deadwell Embassy, rather than going to the plaza. It's a much better plan to say that your darling bear cub has slipped through into one of the other planes and you need to find them and cause a ruckus to the guards there, rather than so that it's not the city guard who responds, but the guards of the Deadwell Embassy specifically. I figured you could, but I wanted to give you the heads up so you could start charging your vamping. Um, so you, Silver and Katira, you two are both waiting just outside the embassy, like a small park bench, fake reading a newspaper, waiting to hear Karen give the signal to move in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure, give me a history check. At advantage because it's Gith lore. 23. I'd say you probably remember it. Well, you know there's going to be a collection of guards from different places roaming the halls. If you run into the halls, it could be any of them. If you're in the offices specifically, it'll probably be the Githzerai. So it could still have its uses. But I'll let you I'll let you reselect it if you don't think you'll get a chance to use it. Yeah, true. So, uh, Karen, I would like you to describe how you cause one, how you cause this distraction, and two, what the signal you tell that you are sending to them to move in is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, I'm going to say that please help me. You say loud enough for Katira's superior perception to catch. Your ear vibrates for a second, Katira, and you hear the signal. Give me, Karen, a performance check. Nope. Enhanced ability was already spent on them. Uh, mm, yeah, I mean, this is just a distraction performance. He's out of range of you, unfortunately. Like, no, 13. Okay. a, like, fire elemental Myrmidon looks at you and says, Sir, if you could please calm down. We will get to the bottom of your. You see, like, his flames snuffing on the shit. Get back! You. He goes over like a loudspeaker. Paging personnel, can we get members from security down here for a reported missing bear? I imagine you grab the mic and start saying this into it. Give me that! Then it cuts off. I want the two of you breaking in to give me stealth checks, which are both at advantage because of the enhanced ability from Zankiri. Well, your lockpicking will be an advantage still then. Oh. Woo. Cool. You all with both above 25s. No, you, as you're sitting there, you you kind of whisper Silver that on the count of three, you all are both going to jump up backwards into the window behind you and make your way in. And just as you say to her, 1, 2, 3, in a blink, nobody would have noticed that you're gone. The newspapers in the bushes up against the wall, and you all are superhero landing. One right hand, one left hand on the inside. Slowly creep up as you find yourself in an open hallway, past where the public is allowed to go normally. And you look over at the wall, and you see a directory map. And you see you're currently on the building's laid out like a planar wheel has been set down, with the far back of the building being the upper planes, the front being the lower planes, chaos to the right, order to the left. You all found an open window on the left side, over on the order wing. Luckily, there's a lot of crossovers. But I have a question. Do you want to try and cross over through the elemental chaos, which is a direct line across, but through the highest traffic area because it's the very middle of the building? Or did you want to go all the way around the wheel, which will take longer but be safer? Going directly across will take you about, moving stealthily, about 10 minutes. It'll take you about 15 to go the long way. Because you're able to, and you've got, remember, you have 2 hours of your enhanced ability. Cool. Carrying over your stealth checks, you won't need to check for this portion because of how high you rolled. I'll say that is kind of what the 25s bought you, is that you have done so well that like you get to blow past this. What would normally have been like another stealth check if you got a 20 or something. You're able to slip past here undetected. Now there are things if you wanted to stop by them. There are like utility closets if you wanted to try and steal uniforms in classic stealth mission style, or other offices if you wanted to do anything there. But you'll just need to tell me if you wanted to look for something like that. Otherwise, you make your way to the Chaos Wing. Cool. You make your way over to the Chaos Wing. You watch there's stone carving on the walls of the building. Where you first came in, there were these fractalous patterns that spread out and cover the entire wing. Over here, it's almost like Van Gogh's Starry Night with these motion of swirls carved into stone. You make your way over and you see the main office. You see REP Blight, Everblight on the wall. You peek. You have Katira lean over and peek her eye around the corner, and you see there's a small little landing area with a few chairs, the secretary desk with I'm gonna roll to see if she's staying late or not. Currently, she is working a late shift and is here past most others, though she seems tired and ready to go. And then you see the office behind her where the representative would be is empty with no one in it. The representative is not here. And you see her typing away on what is essentially a fantasy typewriter. That as she clicks it, there's like a projected laser that engraves it onto a stone. And then she takes it, slots it into a thing on her desk. A little hum. Give me an Arcana or Engineering check as the two of you look at it to try and suss out what this apparatus is. You want to put anything on that? And just so we know, does anybody have int cards they want to Okay. I would gather that this isn't the crucial role. Okay. Okay. With the 10, you get more than Katira. Katira, you gather it's some sort of magical device that has to do with her job. With a 10, you gather, Silver, that this is the way she enters in information. That when she takes that stone slot out and puts it, she takes that tablet off and sticks it in the little slot next to her, and you see the lights come on. It's sending the information on it to the collective hub, their database essentially. So that's one place you can access it. Because you only got a 10, you don't know where else you could try and access this. Even though you know it's probably a network, you're unsure where else you could try and go and find access. Okay. Good at resisting. So, your window is... Go ahead, go ahead. So, you have your window at the moment. I'll also note that you've seen how she puts information in. You don't know how you would pull information out on this machine immediately. You'd have to make a check to try and figure it out. And while you currently have an opening, you know that there are guards walking the halls, and you need to act quickly or go to a hiding place to not be spotted by the Githzerai guards. Because they're just patrolling Chaos's wing at the moment. You've got an opening as their in the path. You've sussed all this out, and you've got Katira probably counting on her hands so that you know X amount of seconds, one's going to turn the corner, and you'll need either to be hidden or in the room doing things. You want to give me an insight check to gauge how strong the secretary herself looks. Just to dress her down and see about how strong she is. Okay. She does not look like a particularly strong Githzerai. You see a silver hair with red streaks in a tight bun, large glasses. She seems to be a bit older by Gith standards. Probably spent a lot of time here, outside of the astral or outside of Limbo. You see that she doesn't carry a weapon with her. You gather she's probably along the lines of the Gith commoner that Zunkiri described to you. She doesn't seem like a particularly militant force. You know, she's still formidable compared to a normal person, but she's not she's not like the guards who are patrolling around here, which you could easily identify as one of the harder ones to fight with two people. With a 21, do you want to know how many hit dice she has or her armor class? She has 8 hit dice. With a 21, I won't tell you which die it is or what the modifier is. Oh, sorry. No, you got 8. Shh, shh. Hush. Speaking of which, Karen, do you want to give me another performance check to like incite more distraction? You've got currently like some beefy earth elemental myrmidons who are like kind of blocking you off from the fire one from your tears, and you're just kind of like having a Karen meltdown in the lobby. And so like people are a little like uneasy because they don't know what you're gonna do. I mean, familiar, I think you can summon within 30 feet of you. Yeah, and it just takes an action to, we'll say, we'll say you'll take your like bonus action, action, and movement one turn to just summon and bigify her into the mount. Good call. As you're clutching onto this Earth Myrmidon's chest, and like he's not expecting you to be as heavy as you are. From the seeming, he feels like, oh, you should be like 90 pounds soaking wet. And then the force of your metal coated bones grabs onto him. He's like, oh shit. Yeah, you've got a solid metal core, which throws him off. Uh, and they just keep unfolding. You get in the face of the other one, and like you start to one of the Githzerai people walking by catches a glimpse of you, uh, and starts to take a step towards you, and the Gith suspicion causes them to take a step back. It's not their problem. Essentially, as you all are standing there, you see this guy around the corner, and instead of looking straight at you, you see him looking over at Karen for a second, pausing, and starting to turn his head towards you all. So, you, so you all are going in. You're going. Are you going in to start combat? She's facing directly towards you all, looking at her little typewriter. I would ask for another stealth check to be able to slip in on her peripheral without her noticing. This will be a very hard DC to make. And you would both have to make it. But if you succeed, you will be in the room and she will not notice. You could get up behind her and behind the desk and she would not see you or know you're there. But yeah. Is that what you want to do? Or do you want to go a different plan? And she would be surprised, I will say, if you succeed on this and spring combat on her. Yes. I will say the one flag is if you don't take her out fast enough, the guard will walk by and see combat happening or hear kerfuffles. If you get in behind her, you can much more easily do the stealth mission, muzzle, and go to sleep. Woo! As you're going in, she needs to make a wisdom saving throw, right? 1d20 plus anything else. Nope. Here it is. That is a failure. I'm gonna say she doesn't even see you. Like when she wakes up, she will just remember seeing the pattern. She doesn't even get a look at your faces before. Probably. Mm-hmm. Yep. You just held up your hand and so you all can hear the guard coming, and you're kind of still keeping count. And I'll let you know when he's about to pass by the office, so you all can know when to hide. I need an Arcana or Engineering check from you, Silver, as you try and figure out how to retrieve information with this apparatus. Cool. With a 26, I will waive the Thieves' Tools check I was going to have you do to hack into this. As you drop down on the desk and you take off a panel, you start to see like these wrapped electrum coils around magic crystals and see energy sparking between them. Mm-hmm. And you find a sticky note with her password. Yep. A new password. As of today, she had to reset it and she's had to write it down on her hand to remember it. You just look at her hand. It's limbo with one is the I and the O is a zero and a dollar sign. Capital L. So you get her password, type it in. As you're looking at the components down below, you gather there's a switch she has next to her to switch it from send to receive. You take the stone out that she was sending, grab a blank one, set it to receive, type in her password, and you've essentially got a search engine. What are you trying to retrieve information on? The specific keywords you put in for the search. Yeah, that's what you originally came in for. I didn't know if there's anything else you also wanted to look for. So you start with schedule, we'll say. Schedule, click. The lights changed. Before it was like a green color and it had kind of like a copy machine scanning back and forth. Now you see projected on this little like illusory hologram above the little typewriter a collection of different schedules. You see there is previous one saved for record, and then there's upcoming schedule for this week and the week after. Do you want to print them? You set it to print, and you hear it printing inside the representative's office. Another door behind you. Not an irregular noise to hear a printer going off, but you realize there's a room behind you to get to that paper that has the door shut and probably locked. And Katir, you're counting 3, 2, time to duck. I will say, because you are not dumb characters, you grab the back of her neck and prop her up so she isn't slumped over as he's walking by, and kind of Weekend at Bernie's her. Yeah, I mean, and the guard walks by. Katir, you continue counting. 2, 1. You're clear. And you're able to pop back up. Now, you see through the window, you can see the stuff you printed out is in there. Is there anything else you wanted to print while you're here at the computer, while you've got your minute? So you searching for keyword portal? Give me an investigation check. Ooh. With a 7, you're seeing information on portals around Solus, and you're not getting what you're looking for. You're just seeing a whole bunch of research papers and grants she signed off on, projects for portal closures. This round goes by without you finding it. Katira, you were making a perception check to look for anything interesting, and I forgot to give you anything. Give me that perception check. Right. 12. She has no real like desk decorations. She does have a set of keys in her pocket. Shh. You now have the secretary's keys. All right, you were doing that while he's searching. One of them does eventually unlock it, or the key starts to turn, and you pause and look back at him for your next step. Did you want to try again searching for portal stuff? Give me another investigation check at advantage, as you're looking for the same thing now. It's more refined parameters. It's 23. You're searching up portal, and you put in quote limbo, quote, to knock out all the other portals that go on here, and it narrows it down a lot. You find it's an encrypted set of passwords for different ranks to enter into the space in limbo. It doesn't list her personal one, but there's ones for like the monks, the regular guards, and then the more elite ones in here. But it would take you a minute to try and break the password for this encrypted file to get the passwords on. Not an actual minute, but it will take probably at least a round. And you're 2 in of your 10. There's also, you can go ahead and get the descriptions and schematics of what her home teleporter looks like. The one on the other side that it connects to. You know that there's a series of different ones that are essentially password protected. You put in the right password and it teleports you in. If you put in the wrong one, it sends you to a random location in limbo. Yeah. Give me a thieves' tools based on intelligence. This is you hacking, trying to get in. Yes. And your gloves of thievery, as a reminder, do still apply to this. They do. Yes. Yes, you get the bonus. 31. You hacking away, messing with the components. You trigger a fail on it, and other computer things that Connor doesn't know about, but you do in like a super spy movie. You're in. You get both the monk password and the Zerth password. There's an outer courtyard that the monks come in. That's also where anyone who visited her would come in. There's then an inner courtyard that has more defensible walls where the Zerth would come in. This is also the place that no one outside of her guard has access to unless they're meeting with her. If somebody wanted to visit her at a residence, she would come out to them. She doesn't let anybody inside the walls. You know that there is a third portal that is essentially in her panic room, but you don't have the password to that one here because it's one that only she knows, and only she is the one who wants to know. You've done 3 rounds of your 10. Is there anything else you wanted to look for with this information? Also assuming that you're printing out everything that you find. Yes. That would be a different search. Okay. Another. Correct. So give me another investigation check as you look for a way to shut down the portals. Going into round 4. '17, you're searching up portal shutdown closure. You've got there's some security functions you're browsing over. Don't what with a 17 you don't quite get it. You'll have advantage on it. Oh, that'll make the difference. As you're going by your flash of genius, you think to add an extra filter and requirements, shut down security, and you find it. You take from the secretary's drawer a small little, essentially crystal flash drive, plug it in, and load in what is essentially a kill virus. Plug it in. There's these physical structures on the base in Limbo that these portals are the destination to. If you plug this into them, once you're on the other side, they shut down. It is an action, and then they are down. No like minute of shutdown. It is the emergency security breach failsafe. So you have the ones that you can just, as an action, shut down the ones as you're going by. You don't have, even with a 21, you don't have a way to remotely shut down her panic room one. But you could still look for it, but it's very hard to find information on her specific panic room in here. I'll remind you, you have 6 rounds to get your stuff before she wakes up. You've got it unlocked. Did you want to open it and go inside? Cool. Roll me a dexterity saving throw. As soon as you cross over, you notice a small laser beam that you trip with your ankle as Silver's clicking away. And you see a little hole in the wall as a dart launches towards you. I don't think a 12 hits you. Oh, no. You're right. I did have you make a save. I was having it be a dart trap. Forgot. So you would succeed and not be stabbed with the whatever's in these syringes as you step back. Um, as you're opening the door, it does shatter the glass of the door and make a fairly loud noise. I need a dexterity check to try and catch these darts. You've got deflect missiles, so you have the speed for it. Or I'll say this: you can choose to fail and hope your deflect missiles catches all of it, or you can make a dexterity check to try and catch them and take no damage. If you fail the regular dex check, it would just hit. If you fail to catch them and use deflect missiles, you'll take damage and whatever effects are laced on these darts. I will say, if you body block it, they won't hit the glass even if you fail. They'll just impact you and do the effect. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and roll damage then. Cool, that did roll that. Can you negate 25 damage? Roll it. With the extra reaction, you'll be able to just negate the extra 17 in D10, so it'll succeed with the extra reaction. As you see, like, one dart laced with some sort of poison heading straight for your eye, your reflexes kick in and you grab the dart. Yeah, kind of. And Silver, you hear the, like, it's loud enough for where you can hear it, Silver, but not anybody in the hallway. And you look over and see Katir holding all these darts. You don't know. Give me an. It should be some sort of intelligence check or in. I'm trying to have you make a check to to understand and figure out if there could be a silent alarm that went off. Yeah, engineering. I like that. Uh, there is a pop-up, a notification on your little typewriter. You open it. Warning, security breach. Representative Blightwell's office. Or Ever Blight's office. That'll be a very hard intelligence-based thieves tools check, but it is possible. Actually, this would be a near impossible. This will be a DC 30. This is a DC 30 overall. You need a 13. It's possible. I will say, Karen, this might be that clutch roll you might be saving the Joker for. So as it's sending out this mass alert, listen, as it's currently sending out notifications to guards to come investigate. And thinking quickly, you draft up a virus on the computer, put it into the system to send out an alert that it was a false alarm misfiring, uh, posing as this clerk, the secretary, notifying them that everything's fine. Uh, Something just hit the door and she heard it go off. Some mechanical thing needs to be that you've opened a ticket in maintenance for it already. Like, you have thoroughly created a diversion so anybody who looks at it looks like, oh yeah, this seems entirely legit. You do all of this in the span of like 6 seconds. It is incredibly fast, the speed at which you do it. You don't. So, so you have succeeded in stopping a full force of Githzerai Zerth descending upon your location. You have you rightfully don't feel safe in this space. I think that was round 5 or 6. That was 6. Okay, so we're going into round 7. Do you want to try and get anything else before you all dip? Her office is now unlocked. That will probably take a turn. The access codes, the shutdown. You've got the first thing you look for was schedule. You have that. I will say there's also her desk in her office is also in there with its own computer and such. If you it is up to you on if you all want to. I'm just saying if you've exhausted your things of what you want to look for searching and you wanted to try and realistically push your luck a little and look in her office for more things to help you. Give me another performance, Karen. As you started to hear you started to see a light flash up on the desk, and you go, like, "Uh oh!" Like it was a very clear, like red, dangerous light. They started to look at. Explain to me how you Explain to me how you entirely distract the now dozen guards from different planar wings who are attending and trying to console the clown. Hey, Pyro. Mm-hmm. And you expertly disguise the casting of enlarge on it as a huge sized polar bear is there now, clad in metal armor. Mishka is currently tossing a trash can in the air and playing with it like a ball. Hey, put that down, that's a mess! Don't go there! Chucks the trash can towards the portal. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's just scattered all over the courtyard. They're like, no, no! You start running after Mishka, who then starts barreling through the like landscaping and knocking it down. And the guards are now in like an active sprint, like Jesus, fuck, get the bear! Mm-hmm. And in this chase, you will yourself slip away from the chaos as Mishka takes most of the heat, and then when you're safe, you will once that hour is up, you will send her to her familiar's hidey hole. She'll duck behind a corner and just be gone while they're chasing her. I just imagine running if the semen giving you squeaky shoes, just just booking it through the desert, and then what the fuck is the second? uh, she was running for her life. The two of you still on the inside. Is there anything else with the? You're entering round 7, 3 after this. Is there anything else you all wanted to do before you look to escape? It'll take one round to reset everything. Both of you. I say there's a balcony door. It's like a second level like balcony door because it is the head of her party. She has a very nice office. Uh, no, but there's a lock on the inside. You can just unlock it and step out. Like locks from the inside. You all are there. You can just unlock it and step out. Mm-hmm. So you spend your action to like clear the logs of what you accessed on the computer, reset everything to exactly how it was. You've done your part. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like it just takes a movement to get out there, and then you could slide out near super spy mode. You all could. Um, I'll say as you look out, there's like as this chaos is going down, people's attention are pulled. You could kind of Assassin's Creed leap of faith into the bushes. Yeah, you all can actually just jump down because Cat's Grace. You got Cat's Grace. You wouldn't take any damage from jumping off anyway. Okay, what do you want to do? Anything specific, or just make it hard to use? Give me another intelligence thieves tools to break into this computer. This one has got sensitive information that's not anywhere else on it, but it's easy to search. But it's heavily protected. You So the panic room portal spits out to this office as you look up and see what's supposed to look like a chandelier in the room is in fact a well disguised ring for teleportation. And you can put this kill virus into this one and shut it down. Or with a 33, you could make a remote activated one that, as long as you're within 100 feet of the Deadwell embassy, turn it on, and a little USB you leave behind puts the kill virus in and kills it from both ends. You have 2 rounds left. Yeah. Oh, at the once you if you take down one, they're both inoperable. Like if you shut this one down, they're both one ways. They only go to each other. So if you shut this one down, it would just wouldn't work on her end. She would try and boot it up, and it would be unable to work. Yep, there'd just be a blue screen error, security breach, unable to activate. You could do something like that, just a recursive virus. Sets itself as a destination and can't be changed. Oh. With the portal schematics you have, I'd say you have the means to make one of these. You could change the frequency of what the other one is set to just your own key, and then construct another one to that. Turn it on so that when she goes through it, it spits her out somewhere else. All right. You successfully alter the timing of it, essentially setting this one to just piggyback to the one you're going to build up. So for a moment, she'll touch this one, and then this one sends her to the one you're going to build. So if she uses it until then, it seems normal until you turn on yours, and then she'll find out the hard way that something's happened. You have one more round, not counting the one where you escape. Any last things you want to look for? You too, Katir, because you didn't really do anything that last round either. Okay. That's up to him. So you relay to her how you stop the guards from coming. You would know, Katira, that they would be suspicious if they saw the dart trap went off and there's no darts. You see the one. It's You see there's one in the back, 1, 2, and 3. There's one in the back corner, or as you're entering the room, to your right and left in the top corners, just at your peripheral, and then there's one in the ceiling to kind of make this threefold shot at the person walking in. You would. The fault was that it got set off when it wasn't supposed to, not that the machine failed. You could try it. It would take your turn to stage that. It would take your turn to stage that. To make a reasonable fault, to have Silver fiddle with one of the cannons to make it in a fault, and then Katira to stage the other two darts, following their trajectory and throwing them with enough force where it looks like they shot out and hit the ground. Cool. Give me Katira. Just give me a general make a dart weapon attack. Nice. Perfectly mimicked. And Silver, will you give me an engineering check to futz with the machine? You all successfully staged that there was one of them that had a faulty trigger, and didn't fire right. So they only expect to see the two darts. You lock the balcony door behind you, close it, and then you all will actually see Mishka and a crowd of Scooby-Doo guards running on the far end of the embassy, chasing after her as she's hoping it. And you all just hop down, cat's grace, cushions a 20-foot fall, and you're out of there. Yeah, Mishka pretends to dive into the planar portal, but just goes back to her dimensional space and shit, that's someone else's problem now. As you all sneak now in the dead of night back to the party's purchased bar. I think that's... I've been so zoomed in, I have not seen the fucking Among Us in the Bay. I zoomed in to the dead well, like where you all were at, and I was like panning back. You son of a bitch! Uh huh. Mm-hmm. Is that where you're gonna put the? Good to know. Um, you're fucking animals, all of you. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I expect you to troll me when you have things to do. So it was very fun. That's also. All right, and that's where we're gonna leave it off for tonight. I mean, they're not entirely devoid. Like they're not entirely different professions.